Things guys have said to me in my DMs, part 3. You know what will look better trapped in your model body? No, and I don't want to know. Hope this helps. Yikes. I'm gonna give that a solid 2 out of 10 because I feel like I'm gonna get sent a certain picture of something that I cannot mention on here, if you catch my drift. Or to say, I'm learning about important dates in history. Will you be mine? Forced to say, hey. Now this is something I could get behind. This is what we're talking about. He's rizzing up the thought daughters. I'm not talking about the thought daughters. I'm talking about the thought daughters. I myself am a thought daughter. I give this one a solid 10 out of 10. Ooh, I love that. If it's not poetic riz, ooh, love that. If it's not poetic riz, but it's something like this, I absolutely adore it. I eat it up. I think we need more of that and less of hey or what's up or you fine, because that shit's boring and it's also really, really bleh. Give me some personality. Respectfully, you look perfect doing this. What? Excuse me? What? I'm sorry. What? This might be the most horrendous thing a man has ever said to me. I think it might be the worst thing a man has ever said to me. Excuse you? Oh, I got the ick. I'm gonna have to subtract aura for that. Yikes. Minus 1,000 out of 10. Minus 1,000 aura as well. Yikes. I just got back from dinner. Are you my dad's belt? Because you hit different. Oh, absolutely. I love this one. 10 out of 10. Absolutely. Hey, beautiful. I love this. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's beautiful, it's simple, it's a classic, and it's better than you so fine, or you a baddie, or you're so hot, you know? I think I could speak for a lot of girls when I say that I'd much rather be called beautiful than a baddie. I think being called beautiful is much better than being called a baddie, or hot, or fine. But yeah, the reason why it gets only an 8 out of 10 and not a solid 10 out of 10 is because it's classic, it's a good go-to, but, you know, it could use a bit more creativity, you know what I mean? Like, a solid 10 out of 10 would either be comedic wit or poetic riz. I want something new, I want something never said before. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Let me know if you want more of these videos. Maybe I'll make more soon. That's everything. Bye!
Get ready with me while I talk about things I got in trouble for with a really strict dad. So these are things that I think a child would not normally get in trouble for, but I guess we'll see. So starting off strong, I didn't get him or make him a birthday card when I was like 8 or 9. So me and my brother got sent to our rooms for the rest of the day. We tried to call our mom to tell her what happened, and then we got in trouble for that. The next thing I got in trouble for was for not being hungry at breakfast time or not eating all my food at dinner. I mean, it wasn't because I wanted to be skinny or something like that. I was literally just really, really little and could not physically eat the same amount as my older brother could. I don't understand how that one is that wrong. And on that note, one time I had some food left that I just was not hungry at all. I had eaten so much. So then I said I had to go to the bathroom, then I stuffed it all in my mouth, and then I went to the bathroom and spit it out in the toilet. And when I came out, my dad had his ear to the door and he was like, bruh. And then I was sent to my room and I was crying, and then he came in and he was like, you need to apologize to your stepmom for doing that because now she thinks you hate her food. And she was just making that up to make me feel bad, obviously. She could care less. The next thing I got in trouble for was for texting somebody the poop emoji. Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble for that one. The next thing I got in trouble for was for getting car sick and throwing up in the car. And I had to clean it up after. The next thing isn't something I got in trouble for. It's just kind of a weird rule we had that we had to ask before we could have a snack or just eat in general. We had to ask before we could eat. I don't know. I didn't really realize how weird that one is until now. But also it just doesn't make sense because it's you want me to eat all my food, but then when I'm not hungry you're mad at me, but then when I am hungry you're also mad at me. Make it make sense, pal. The next thing I got in trouble for was for bringing clothes that I bought with gift cards that my dad and stepmom gave me to my mom's house. So I wasn't allowed to bring anything from my dad's house to my mom's house, but obviously my mom didn't care, so she let me bring stuff from her house to my dad's house because the next thing is honestly just a weird story that happened, but my old babysitter for some reason told my dad that I wanted to my siblings, my little sibling, but luckily my dad believed me and yeah. And the last thing I got in trouble for is telling him that I was happier at my mom's house, and that got me kicked out the house. The full story time is pinned on my page. Let me know if you think these are strict rules or not. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching.
I drove out 2.5 hours to see this man just to be ghosted. Y'all remember when I said that I'm never gonna be on another dating app again? Well, I fucking lied. Because I recently re-downloaded Tinder and Hinge again, just because, not to like actually, you know, talk to anybody or meet anybody or really even do anything, just because I needed validation. But I don't know, there's this boy on Hinge who liked my picture, and you know what, I was like, damn, this man is fine as fuck. And we hit it off right away because we both were joking back and forth, and I made a joke being like, oh, like, I'm crazy as fuck, which like wasn't really a joke though. But he takes me a little too seriously, and he proceeds to tell me that he himself just got out of the psych ward. And all my friends told me that this is a red flag, but you know, me being me, I like to see the best in people, and I don't really judge people for their past or for whatever the fuck they're going through, because I'm not that type of person. So I ignore the signs and we continue to talk, and he tells me to add his Instagram, so I do. And one thing I noticed about his Instagram is that he only followed like 40 people and only had like maybe less than 20 followers, and they were all hot girls that he clearly met from Hinge. To some of y'all, you're probably like, oh, obvious red flag, but to me, I'm like, okay, he's single, you know, he's on Hinge for a reason, he's exploring his options, I'm just gonna ignore that. We start trauma bonding and we're having deep conversations and just like, you know what I mean? But things start to get sexual really quickly, which is another red flag. So a few days pass and we start talking about a first date. We both realize that he lives 2.5 hours away from me. This motherfucker basically has no car right now because it's fucking broken down and he's like fixing it or whatever. So he's like, well, I can't drive out to you, you know, why don't you just come out to me? And I'm like, you don't gotta tell me twice, like, I'll literally do it, stop playing with me. Basically the plan was for me to leave that Monday coming up after work. So now it's Monday night and I'm literally driving home from work to go get ready. And he's like, oh, well, can you just come in the morning? Because, like, I didn't think you were actually going to come out and see me. I thought you would flake on me. Like, I have to get some stuff done around the house. And I have to, like, work on my car and blah, 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 blah. So we made plans for me to leave the next morning at 6. So I can get there around 8 or 9. 6 the fuck o'clock the next morning comes around. And I've been texting him. I texted him when I woke up around 4 because I knew his ass would be up too. And he's not answering me until 6 o'clock in the morning exactly, when I'm literally at QT filling up my tires so I can go see him. And this motherfucker hits me with the, oh, can we reschedule? There's nothing to do out here and like it's gonna be boring and I just don't want you to be bored and blah blah blah. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck. Like, I just want to come see you. I just want to meet you. So I explained to him that I'm irritated as fuck because I have such a tight fucking schedule that I already told him about, and I switched my whole schedule around just so I can go see him for a day. So after about an hour of going back and forth with each other, eventually he's like, you know what, like, you can come out here right now, just like, as long as you're okay with being bored and me working on the car at some point in the day, that's cool. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But dead ass, guys, when I get there, literally all the fuck he talks about is himself and his ex. And I'm just kind of like, okay. Also, while I'm there, this is when he decides to drop the bomb on me. He's been to juvie, he's been on the run in multiple states. Like, he used to sell like hard shit and he wants to get back into selling hard shit. But he's been sober and he wants to stay sober. And I'm just like, okay. Again, I'm not judgy because I'm not that type of person. But any normal person would take this all as a red fucking flag. Whatever, the day ends and we wake up the next morning and he's like, okay, so when are you trying to leave? And I'm like, I just woke up. So I asked him, I'm like, well, when do you want me to leave? Because this is your place, you know what I mean? And he was like, well, sometime before 12 because I gotta go work on the car, because he never fucking worked on it before. Honestly, I just ended up leaving earlier. When I left, he didn't even kiss me bye, guys. He hugged me and then he proceeded to ask me like, oh, like, should I come out in like a week or two? Like, what are we gonna do? Whatever. I'm just like, yeah, just like, you know, let me get my schedule figured out. Let me request the days off and we can talk about it later. So I start my drive 2 hours all the way home. Now, this is when things get interesting. I'm gonna have to make a part 2, so go to part 2.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys about the story that I got sent. So it started off by me meeting this guy a few months before COVID started. We were texting for a while, getting to know each other, and eventually I started to like him. We were going out, and eventually my girl best friend moved around my area. We were hanging out a lot, and I eventually told her about my boyfriend. She was happy for me, but then she started acting weird. She hits him up and he ends up sending me a screenshot of her trying to get at him. She asked me if I wanted to hang out, so I was like, okay, sure. So whenever I went to her house, I ended up confronting her about it. She got mad at me and told me why I would ever think that she'll hit up on my boyfriend, but then I showed her the proof. After I showed her the proof, she kicked me out of her house and I went straight to my boyfriend's house. When I went to my boyfriend's house, I told him what happened and he told me to drop her. So then I dropped her, and then COVID started, so I couldn't see my boyfriend as much. We take a little break because COVID did start and we couldn't really see each other, but we'll still text seeing how we were doing. Then my best friend sends me a snap of them together. And the reason why they had a chance seeing each other more is because they were in a gated community together and they lived like 30 seconds away from each other. When she sent me the snap, she didn't have one boyfriend, but she had two. But then I stop her back and tell her what she's doing with my ex, and she just blocks me. But then I text my ex and I tell him that I want nothing to do with him and that I don't want to hear from him anymore. Moving forward to this year, we talked about it and made a solution. Now we're all good with each other, but we're not friends. Okay, that is the end of the story, but let me give you guys some feedback. First of all, that friend isn't your friend. And I hope that you cut contact with her, and if you did, good job. I know it's hard to cut off contact with a friend that you're best friends with, but if you did so, proud of you. And for your ex to be letting himself like that, and then your ex, he doesn't even have any respect, so don't go back to him. I know how girls be with their ex, just don't go back. At the end of the day, keep your head up and be careful on who you hang out with.
So this one time I go to a gas station and I see this guy, and you know how like you see a guy and you just know he's about to harass you? Yeah. So he goes, hey. I'm pretending I can't fucking hear him, obviously, and he walks in front of me. Hey. So now I have to fucking talk to him. So he goes, you look familiar. I said, no, I don't. I'm not even from here. He goes, well, where are you from? Missouri. I don't know why I said that. I literally don't know a single fucking thing about Missouri. But that's what I said. And he goes, oh, well, let me buy your stuff. No need. I don't want to talk to you. He grabs my stuff and walks to the front of the store. I don't want to cause a scene. So I was like, fuck it, you can buy it, whatever. Transaction ends. I leave. Of course, I'm parked at the fucking gas pump because I needed gas. And lo and behold, shocked to freaking nobody, he follows me to the freaking gas pump. And he goes, let me pay for your gas. I wasn't going to turn down free gas, obviously. So he starts pumping the gas, and then he goes, so I'm trying to get your phone number. Like, no duh, obviously you're trying to get my fucking phone number. Now, normally I just give people a fake number and, like, fucking keep it pushing, you know? But I just felt like he was going to call me and, like, let me make sure it's a real number, right? Like, and that's exactly what the fuck he did. So I gave him the number, he leaves, and he immediately starts blowing my fucking phone up. I block him because I have common fucking sense. Because I'm not even fucking kidding. I see him a week later at the same gas station. Couple things to keep in mind here though. I have two phones and they're like linked to each other. So if I block you on my main phone, I'll still get your messages on my second phone. So technically your message will still say delivered because it went to my second phone, just I won't see it on my personal phone. And then the first time I saw him, I had like my hair straight, full beat, whatever. And then the next time I saw him, I had like my curly hair, no makeup, whatever. So I see him again, he comes up to me, why haven't you answered any of my messages, like da-da-da-da-da, whatever the fuck. I pretend I don't know who he is. I go, what? Who, like, do I know you? And he goes, don't act stupid, I saw you last week, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, no, I literally don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And he goes, yeah, you're Kelsey, you're from Missouri, you're da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, you know my sister. He's like, what? Like, da-da-da. I go, yeah. I pull up my second phone, go through my second Instagram to my main Instagram, and I go, her? And he goes, oh, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, like, that's my sister. Like, not to be confused with me, right? And he, like, starts apologizing for, like, literally causing this fucking scene, yelling at me about it, and then he offers to pay for my stuff. Again. Y'all, he just would not take no for a fucking answer. So he buys the stuff again, and then had the audacity to then ask me, oh, well then, can I get your number? I go, aren't you trying to talk to my sister? And he's like, well, no, sir. I get in my car and I left. Y'all, when I tell you I never went back to that gas station again, never.
Part 2, SOS-asiat, mitä miehet on tehnyt mulle. Oltiin Emmin kanssa lähes niinku pois baarista. Ja kun jotkut miehet niinku seisoi niitten auton vieressä. Ja vaan oli tälleen, okei, nyt te tuutte meidän autoon, nyt te hyppäätte meidän autoon. Mä otin silleen, ei me olla kyllä niinku tulossa teidän autoon, et niinku the fuck, ketä te edes ootte. Sitten kun me lähdettiin kävelemään siitä eteenpäin, ne alkoi vaan huutelemaan, että meillä on puukko, että me puukotetaan teidät, jos te ette tuu meidän autoon. Me vaan alettiin vittu kuvaa niitä, oltiin vaan silleen, anteeksi, että mitä sä sanoit, sanotko uudestaan, että mulla on sun rekkarit, mulla on sun naamavideossa, että sanotko uudestaan, please. En enää siitä uskaltanut sanoa mitään tai edes tulla meidän perään. Mä olin Helsingissä jossain baarissa mun kavereitten kanssa ja joku mies osti mulle juoman ja mä niinku otin sen vastaan. Ja sit mä niinku keskustelin siinä mun kavereitten kanssa ja kun mä käännyin niinku takas mun juomaan jostain syystä niinku nähti oudolta. Mä en osaa selittää, mutta se vaan niinku kupli oudolta tavalla ja tälleen. Ja se mies oli jostain syystä niinku tosi semmonen niinku intohimonen, että mä niinku juon sen juoman niinku ykkösellä sen kanssa loppuun. Sitten mä olin vaan silleen, joo, et ei niinku, et ei keitti sittenkään, et en mä niinku tarvitse tätä juomaa, et niinku hei, et sä voit juoda tän, et niinku sä ostit tän, et mulla ei tee mieli tätä, et mä niinku otan mieluummin vaikka niinku shotin tai jotain. Tää mies oli vaan silleen, et kyllä sä nyt otat tän juoman, kyllä sä nyt juot tän juoman. Mä olin silleen, no thanks. Sitten mä vaan menin sanoa portsareille, että niinku, mitä vittu oli tapahtunut. Ja sit mä en enää nähnyt sitä äijää. Mut niinku... Oikeesti olkaa varovaisia, jos te menette jonnekin ulos, koska äijä oli kyllä insane. Mä olin tullut illan vietosta kotiin ja mä olin niinku aika lähellä mun kämppää. Ja kun joku tämmönen vanha pappa yhtäkkiä niinku tuli puhua munkaan ja niinku kävelee munkaan samaa matkaa, mä olin vaan silleen okei, että ei kai tää nyt haittaa, että ei se ole tekemässä mitään. Ja se on selkeästi myös kävelemässä kotiin, että ihan sama. Sitten asiat eskaloitu niinku aika nopeasti, koska mä niinku vaan aloin kysellä tältä mieheltä, että joo, että mä oon niinku kääntymässä kohta, että missä sä niinku asut. Ja sit tää vanha pappa oli tälleen, no mä asun sun luona. Mä olin silleen, mitä sä sanoit? Se oli silleen, joo, että mä oon tulossa nyt sun luo, niinku sun luo teille. Mä olin silleen, excuse me, et sä oon vittu tulossa mun luo meille, että niinku, kuka sä luulet olevas? Sitten tää pappa niinku alkoi yrittää niinku käpelöidä mua, mä olin silleen, mitä vittua? Et kuka vittu sä oot, et sä et oo vittus tulos meille, niinku mitä vittua sä teet? Mä olin siis juonut vähän, niin mä olin niinku itekin silleen aika aggressiivinen tätä pappaa kohtaan tässä vaiheessa, koska mulla siis oikeesti meni hermot vaan. Koska 10 minuuttia tää mies oli silleen, kyllä mäkin tuun teille. Ja sit aina mä yritin kävellä pois, se vaan niinku käveli mun perässä, mä olin silleen, what the fuck? Tää tilanne päätyi sit silleen, että mä niinku näytin, että mä soitan 112 ja soitan poliisille, ellei se niinku jätä mua rauhaa ja päästä mua lähteä kotiin. Ja sit kun mä lähdinkin kotiin, niin mä menin niinku ihan eri suuntaan, mitä mä normaalisti menen, koska mä en halunnut, että tää mies seuraa mua vittu himaa. Oikeesti, mä en äly, että miksi teidän pitää olla niin sus ja sos. Tää on se syy, miksi mä aina valitsen karhun, koska pahin asia, mitä karhu tekis niin on raatelis mut pahin asia, mitä mies tekis. Joten joo, stay safe out there, guys.
Wait. Actually, that's a really good idea, Kelly.
What did I say? I talk a lot, so I've learned to just tune myself out.
You want hot girl makeup? I'll give you hot girl makeup. This makeup is gonna make you look hotter than you've ever looked in your entire life. So let's do it. We are beating the face harder than ever. Like, I honestly want to look as good as I would on my wedding day. Really for no reason other than I want to feel like a bad bitch right now. I want to be super matte today, but I feel like every matte look starts with a good glowy base, starting with a lot of magic serum. Really know I mean business when I bring out the primer, because I don't usually use primer. Smashbox photo finish, so we have no pores at all today. I'm gonna put that in my T-zone. Stay sun glow, as I said, a glowy base for a matte look. Starting off color correcting my face that I picked so bad today. Just made them up and made a bunch of spots on my face. When I bring out a beauty blender, that means I'm dedicated today. Now you're just starting off with a perfect base, which is why I love color corrector. I think I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier today because I want to be super matte. You're wondering, oh, what are you getting ready for? Like, what do you need to look so good for? I'm literally not doing anything. I did 3 pumps. I want to do 4, but like, I'm not gonna get too crazy. I woke up at 5 a.m. today and I had the urge to just beat my face. I have to make plans if I look like really good, which I'm assuming I'm going to. This foundation's so good. I've decided that we are concealing before any contour today. My sister did it, so I'm copying her. I'm starting off with my NARS because it's just my trusty. This nose contour means business right now. We're using Natasha Denona concealer, and I'm gonna go pretty heavy with this in the inner corner. I'm using a lot of concealer, but it's fine. Kind of what I'm looking for today. Let it sit for a second. We're blending her all in. Under eyes are gonna be very bright. It's like perfection. I'm gonna take it on the lid to prep. I'm taking a concealer brush, and I'm making sure that everything is pressed down. Taking the Rare Beauty contour, we're warming the face up. Here's where I contour. I'm a little light with it just because I want our rebronze after. This is a Mario F4 brush. Just gonna press this into the skin. I'm gonna take the Say Do bronze. This shade is just perfect. Shade Swim. Putting this everywhere that I contoured. This is the bronze that we need for a night out. Or if you just want to look hot and do nothing like me. And I'm taking the fluffier side of the brush, making sure that everything's very blended in. There's no harsh lines. Blending this nose contour. Okay, for blush, I want a pink, but I also want to mix a little Toasted Teddy. I feel like people don't really use this in full glam. Which one do we think? This one. The House Labs Glassy Blush in Rosette. See, these are so slept on. So pretty and they're so easy to work with. Focusing the pink more under the eyes. This is perfect. Taking Toasted Teddy from Rhode right up in here. A little bit of ombre effect. And also because I want it to look a little bronzy and burnt. I'm gonna take it down here a little bit, kind of where I contour. That's some good bronze. Look at how glowy those cheeks are. Look at that base. This is perfect. So everything sticks. One size setting spray. For a little bit of glow, even though we're going matte, Charlotte Tilbury.
This is where shit gets real. We have a 3 powder combo. Start off with Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder. I need to wait for this to dry down. All on the face, I'm gonna use Huda Beauty Pound Cake. Under the eyes is Tarte Pink Powder. Nice little Huda Pound Cake in it. Just watch the magic happen. Like, I'm sorry, what? You know, Huda Pound Cake of full beads, like, it just looks so much better when I use the loose powder. That's a lot of powder. The pink powder and the Huda powder together. Gorge. Bake for a little bit. Taking my Armani bronzer. We bronze everywhere that we bronze the first 2 times. Right here, when I know if my makeup's gonna be good or bad. This is looking so good. Press her away before it gets too crazy. Look at how perfect that looks. The bronzer on this nose contour brush, and we're recontouring the nose. We're gonna take it into this little crease. Such a game changer. And pull it out on the outer eyes. We have a visitor. For blush, I think we're gonna use Patrick Ta, not too much. At base, I'm taking House Dabs in Hibiscus Haze, and we're gonna put that over. That is what we want. I'm in shock. My base looks perfect. Not to hype myself up or anything. I'm just gonna take a little bit of the bronzy shade from the Dior highlighter and highlight the cheeks. October setting spray first. A lot of one size on top. I feel like a glam look, like you need the brows to be like very filled in. We want this, not this. I have this Tarte palette. It's insane. Like, I have so many looks I want to do with this. Take this brown. This is Give Back. I'm gonna lightly press it in the outer corner. I feel like this has hints of reddish in it. I just want to lift the eye up. Take it into this crease just so everything's very cohesive. We just blend her upwards. And that bronzy shade from the Dior palette, and I'm just gonna lightly dust that over the crease. I take this very light neutral shade. I'm just gonna use it in the inner corner to open the eye up. This is the maroon eyeliner. This is Hourglass and Chestnut. So I'm gonna put this just in the top and bottom waterline. Still a little brown, but it's gonna brighten the eye. I'm gonna take a liquid brown eyeliner, and we're gonna make a line right above the top, a very thin line. Going back in with brown eyeshadow, and we're smudging out that line. Now brown pencil eyeliner, and we're making a wing, and then smudging that out with eyeshadow. And I also made an inner corner. I'm adding my Candy Tame Lashes by Velour. Oh my god. Hourglass mascara. I don't want to say I told you so, but I just beat the F out of my face. Wow. Smudging the bottom with the brown Dior highlight again. I want to add glitter, but I refuse. Lips Freezing Spice Chai by Mario. I mean, couldn't be more perfect. I'm so impressed. Okay, Fenty Gloss Stick. This is an O2. Wow. Did I just discover the perfect lip combo? I think I did it. I think I want to look like this on my wedding day. I would pay for this beat. Just yes. And I'm hyping myself up, but I came in here with a goal, and I think I executed it. I'm gonna darken my beauty mark. I mean, trust me, if you want to look hotter than ever, do this look. I'm gonna go make dinner plans now.